Hey y'all, it's Alec and Cindy with Sharing the Journey. Today is packing day. Tomorrow we hit the road to go from West Yellowstone to Rockport, Texas. And we have been sitting for about 5 months. And when you're sit that long, you take so much stuff out of your storage, from under your bed, under the motorhome, out of the Jeep. So today is packing day. So I'm going to try to show you what we do on a typical packing day. And then in the morning, we'll finish up. We'll close the slides, put the last few things up. But as you can see, everything in the camper's in disarray. There's Miss Puma. Hey, Puma. And we've got Cindy back here. Say hey, Cindy.
Hello.
Got Cindy packing in the bedroom. So let me go get started on the outside. I'll bring you along. We've got a lot to do. So one of the first things I do is the messy stuff first. The black tank is completely full. The gray tank is 2/3 full. Now normally when we're at a campground, especially for a long period of time, I leave the black tank closed. You should always leave your black tank closed so you don't get a poop pyramid. But I'll usually leave the gray water so we don't have to worry about showers and all that kind of stuff. Just let it flow. 2 or 3 days before I dump the black tank, I close the gray tank up, and that way I can have something to flush the tank with. Now the first thing I always do is I hook up my auxiliary hose to my black water flush. I hook that up so I can wash out my tank. Come over to my hose, turn on the flush. Now my tank's almost full, so I don't want to let that run too long before I flush it out. So first thing I do is I pull the black and let it empty out all the way with the tank flushing. It'll take a few minutes. I deliberately set this up so you didn't have to watch all the dark matter, as I call it, go through the tank. So I'm gonna let the flush run for about 5 or 10 minutes while it empties out all the stuff out of my black tank. And so while we're doing that, I'm gonna go put some stuff in the Jeep. So let's go do that. All right, so if we come out here, Cindy's already brought the washing machine out. There's a few other things we can go ahead and load up. So what we do is in the Jeep, we use it to carry stuff that won't fit in the motorhome. I move some stuff into position in case I need them on the road. I've got my Vi-Air air pump, which we may use after we check the tire pressures. So I got my Vi-Air right there by the back door, so I can use it if needed while we're traveling. Got Cindy's knitting bag. It stays in the Jeep all the time. A tote of stuff. I got to move this stuff around, make room for the washing machine, and then we'll get some other things. So I'm not sure if the extra Diet Pepsi or the extra water is going to go in the camper or not. I got to check with Cindy, but I'm gonna go get the washing machine, one of the extra propane tanks and whatnot, and bring them over here, and then I will show you the progress in the Jeep. All right, so you can actually hear the water running through there. That's the wash. We have a very good wash system on the Tiffin. Now I'm going to pull the gray hose, dump the rest of the gray water. Once it's empty, and I'm not going to walk you through every step. Once it's empty, I will remove the rinse hose, and I will go inside. I usually dump a 5-gallon bucket full of water into the black tank so the bottom's covered. So when solid matter and papers go in there, it's already got something working on it. And I'll also put one of my enzyme tablets in there. We'll do a video once we get set up in Texas on the proper way to maintain your black water system. I think that'd be a great video. And then we'll come back. I'll leave all this hooked up for a couple more hours. We got to wash dishes and stuff. No use collecting gray water. But before we go to bed tonight, the sewer hose and the water hoses will be emptied. All right. So another thing we do when we travel is we actually go to a professional laundromat or campground laundromat and get all our clothes taken care of. If you've seen, I've already put the washer. It's dried out, completely drained. It's in the back of the Jeep. So I came up and I spent $8, did 2 loads of clothes. So I've got to get the clothes out of the dryers, get them folded, and take them back down to the camper. But this is an important step because, you know, when you go on vacation, how much you hate having to, you know, get somewhere, get set up, and the first thing you have to do is do clothes. Well, we try to get all our clothes done before we leave. So let me get these folded up, take them back to Cindy so she can put them up. But it's an important step. It's another part of the process. All right, so the next thing I've got to do, so I'm going to get the propane tanks filled, is you saw the 30-pound bottles earlier that are beside the camper. Here, I got to show you. I got to turn this one off anyway. So, got the 30-pound propane cylinder. I turned everything that's propane off in the camper. Now I'm taking off this cable or this cord. You can hear it, a little bit of propane that's in the system is seeping out. The propane on here is turned off. So we got to disconnect this. And then it's got a plug we put in right here. So this is called an extend-a-stay, and it allows us to not have to leave to fill up with propane. As you can see, our propane tank here, getting here, is half a tank. And since we came to this off-site campground, they don't have propane here. And so I've just been using the extend-a-stay. And I'll leave a link down below for the extend-a-stay. But like I said, you just use the 30-pound cylinders or 20-pound cylinders. Either one of them will hook up to it, and allows you to stay months on end without having to close up the camper or anything. I'm going to go and get some Windex and just spray on that to make sure that that it's not leaking or anything. But the extend-a-stay is, let me show you. The extend-a-stay is this brass piece here that you take off your regular propane line from the camper fitting. Now, I had a leak in my hose, so I had to replace it. So I got one with a quick connect fitting on it. But you can do put a grill attachment here, and then right here is where you put that hose on, and it allows for you just to change the bottles and take the bottles down to the store. So I've got the 20-pound bottle there and the 30-pound bottle over there that I've got to fill. I'll put a link down below for the extend-a-stay if you want to buy it through my Amazon affiliate program. They're like 40 bucks, and it is definitely worthwhile. It's easy to install. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take those tanks and put them, Cindy got some Windex. No bubbles. We're good. It's not leaking. We're going to go over to the KOA and fill the bottles, and then we'll be right back. I know the guy that does the propane over there, he does not like YouTube. He does not want to be filmed. He got very upset this year with another video I was doing. So out of respect for them, I'm not going to videotape anything. We got some trash there by the door, as you can see. We're going to take all the trash to the trash dumpster. We're going to put these 2 bottles in. We're going to go fill the Jeep up with gas, all the stuff that you need to do. And people say, well, why waste your time filling the Jeep up with gas? You're not going to be driving it. I mean, I've got a half a tank, but you never know. I may break down in the desert or in a real rural area and need to use the Jeep to get to my next destination to get help. So whenever we hit the road, I like to have the Jeep full of gas. The motorhome is already full of gas, and we'll fill it up in the morning. Now, when we leave here in the morning, we'll go by the KOA, we'll fill the propane up. That way we'll be good to go for the trip. All right, I'll see you when we get back. Okay, I've taken my external microphone off because I keep knocking the camera over because it's got this big long cord on it. I'm gonna have to get, when I get a little bit of money, I'll have to get a wireless one. I should have bought that to begin with. But, so we about got the outside done. I need to put those buckets. So the black bucket is used for all my propane stuff, and the white bucket is used for all the dog stuff. And the square bucket is used for when I do, when I walk the dogs. That's where their dog poop goes. Some dogs are done with their outside. I'll wrap these up, put them in the, what you talking about, Chance? We're done, bud. Chance wants to come back out, but we're done. I got their leads, put them up. I'll load all this in the Jeep.
Will those fit in the bucket?
No, it goes on top of one of the propane cylinders. We got to put a chair in the Jeep. So I'm gonna finish loading the Jeep, and I'll be back and I'll show you what it looks like loaded. And then the last 2 things we got to do tonight is I've got to oil the stairs and the jacks so that they've been down for 4 months or 5 months. So we oil those before we send them back up and down, and then we'll do the sewer, and that's all we're going to do today. And they'll leave us just a few things to do in the morning. All right, here's the Jeep, and I lied. There's a few more things I got to do, but the Jeep is full. I remember when we used to travel and not have to put anything in the back of the car. So either we're getting more sophisticated or dumber. I found that I got bikes still to put in, and then we're going to do the sewer and the water hose, and I'm going to check all the air pressures, and then once I get all that done, I'll come back and show you what it looks like, and that'll be the conclusion. All right, I'm about done for the day. I forgot I didn't use the T9, whoops, the T9 to lube stuff, so I'm going to do that real quick, but I'm going to show you what the camper looks like now, fully cleaned up. All right, so you see the sewer, water's put up. We'll use the tanks tonight. Got all the wheel chocks and junk in there. The water bay is all done. Cleaned out the electrical bay. That's my inverter right there. We use a Stay-Bill 360 protection. I put it in every time that we go somewhere. Anytime we move it, that keeps, when we sit for 4 or 5 months, it keeps the generator from clogging up and the engine on the camper from clogging up. I've put the porta potty tote, that we haul our waste in when we're staying somewhere that doesn't have any hookups, is right there. The Falcon 2 is put on the rear of the camper. That's what we use to tow the car. On this side, all the chairs are up, the rug's up. Filled the fresh water. You can see right there. I like to travel with it about 2/3 of the way. This part of the tank is fat. This part is real thin, so that's about 2/3. That's the water we'll use on our trip. And then what I do with the T9 is, here, let me set this on the tripod, and I will show you kind of what we do with the T9. So I go in all these pivot points. I lube everything up good so everything moves smoothly. Do the motor, the gears down here, the pivot point there. Get all that good and wet. And then if you come back here, you can see I got my jacks down. So come in here and get the jacks good, front and back. I do that on all 4 sides. So all I got left to do tomorrow is check the tire pressures, pull the slides in. I am going to put some T9 on the tracks here, on the slides. That's what they say to do at Tiffin. I have to get my ladder out to do the top, and then I'll just check the tire pressures, pull the slides in tomorrow, and we will hit the road. I'll see you down the road. Thank you for joining us. Safe travels, happy camping. Follow us for our next camping adventure. We're going to try to do a series all the way down to Texas. Check my Amazon link for the items that we talked about today down below.